The automatic doors slid open with a soft whoosh, and I stepped inside. My name is Desmond, and my life was about to get very, very weird. The lobby was enormous, a canyon of polished white marble and gleaming chrome. Sunlight streamed through a ceiling made entirely of glass, making everything sparkle like a treasure hoard. I clutched the strap of my worn-out backpack, feeling completely out of place, like a pigeon that had accidentally flown into a palace. My sneakers squeaked on the pristine floor, announcing my arrival to a receptionist who looked like she was carved from ice. She barely glanced at me before pointing a perfectly manicured finger toward a single, solitary elevator at the far end of the room. My heart was doing a drum solo against my ribs. I had received a single cryptic email yesterday. It had no sender, no subject line, just a time and this address. I'd thought it was a prank at first, maybe one of my friends messing with me, but something about the official-looking digital watermark made me take it seriously. So here I was, walking toward an elevator that looked like a silver bullet, ready to be shot up into the sky. Every step echoed in the cavernous space. I felt 100 invisible eyes on me, even though the lobby was mostly empty. This wasn't just a building, it felt like a fortress disguised as a corporate headquarters. I pressed the button for the top floor, the only one available. The elevator didn't lurch or rumble like the old one in my apartment building. It simply ascended, silent and impossibly smooth. The city of Chicago unfolded below me, a map of tiny cars and ant-sized people. I watched my neighborhood shrink until it was just another block in a sprawling grid. I wondered if my mom was looking out the window of our kitchen right now, thinking I was just at the library. If only she knew I was rocketing toward a meeting with a complete mystery. The higher the elevator climbed, the more the knot in my stomach tightened. When the doors opened again, I wasn't in a hallway. I was standing directly in an office. It was a massive room, even bigger than the lobby, with floor-to-ceiling windows on 3 sides. The view was breathtaking, showing the curve of Lake Michigan on one side and the endless city on the other. But the room itself was almost empty. There was no desk, no chairs, no clutter, just a wide open space of dark wood floors and a single figure standing with his back to me, gazing out at the horizon. The silence was heavy, thick with anticipation. My journey was over, but I had a feeling the real adventure was just beginning. He didn't turn around when I entered. He just stood there, perfectly still, like a statue. He was tall and broad-shouldered, dressed in a suit the color of a deep forest at dusk. It was a striking dark green, tailored so perfectly it looked like it was made just for him. Even from behind, he radiated an aura of importance and power. It was the kind of confidence you see in movie villains right before they explain their evil plan. I swallowed hard, the sound unnaturally loud in the quiet room. My palms were so sweaty I had to wipe them on my jeans. I took a tentative step forward, then another, my sneakers making no sound on the polished wood. As I got closer, I noticed more details. His hands were clasped behind his back and he wore black leather gloves. Everything about him was precise and deliberate. The air around him seemed to crackle with energy, like the moments before a lightning strike. I cleared my throat, trying to announce my presence without sounding as terrified as I felt. "Hello?" I managed to say, my voice coming out as a weak croak. I got an email. That sounded incredibly lame. I sounded like I was trying to deliver a pizza, not attend a top-secret meeting on the top floor of the tallest building in the city. He finally turned, not quickly, but with a slow, measured grace that was somehow more intimidating. And that's when I saw the mask. It was sleek and black, covering the upper half of his face from his forehead to the bridge of his nose. It wasn't a party mask. It was something else entirely. It was smooth, with no expression, hiding his eyes completely. Below the mask, his mouth was set in a thin, neutral line. His jaw was strong and a hint of dark stubble shadowed his chin. The mask made him seem less human, like a character who had walked straight out of a graphic novel. "Desmond," he said. His voice was deep and resonant, filling the empty room without any effort. It wasn't a question. He knew who I was. Hearing my name from this masked stranger sent a fresh wave of chills down my spine. How did he know my name? Who was this guy? My mind raced, trying to connect the dots. But there were no dots to connect. I was just a normal kid. I got decent grades, played video games, and tried to stay out of trouble. What could a man like this possibly want with me? He took a step toward me and I instinctively took a step back. There was nowhere to run, not unless I wanted to try my luck with the windows on the 95th floor. So I stood my ground, my feet feeling like they were glued to the floorboards. "You can call me Kounter Stryke," he said, the name sounding as strange and powerful as he looked. It wasn't a normal name, but then again, nothing about this situation was normal. He stopped about 10 feet away from me, a considerable distance, yet I felt like he was crowding me, his presence taking up all the oxygen in the room. I tried to read his expression, but with the mask, it was impossible. I couldn't see his eyes, the one part of a person that tells you what they're really thinking. His unseen gaze felt like a physical weight. I had the distinct impression that he could see right through me, past my nervous exterior, past my worn-out t-shirt and jeans, and into my very thoughts. It was an unsettling feeling, like being an open book for someone who could read every single word, even the ones I tried to hide. I felt small and insignificant under that invisible stare. I was used to being overlooked, to blending into the background. But here, in this room, I was the sole focus of this powerful, mysterious man. It was terrifying and, in a weird way, a little bit thrilling. "You are wondering why you are here," Kounter Stryke stated, his voice calm and steady. Again, it wasn't a question. He seemed to know exactly what was going through my head. I just nodded, unable to form words. My brain felt like it was short-circuiting. Was I in trouble? Did I accidentally witness something I shouldn't have? My mind flashed through the last few weeks, searching for any possible reason for this summons. I came up with nothing. My life was painfully, boringly normal. The most exciting thing that had happened to me recently was finding a $20 bill on the sidewalk. He seemed to enjoy my confusion. A faint, almost imperceptible smile touched the corner of his lips. "Your life, Desmond, is about to change, drastically. The world you think you know is merely a shadow of the real one. There are things happening in the corners of your reality, things you cannot imagine." His words hung in the air, heavy with meaning. It sounded like the opening line of an epic movie, not something you hear in a real-life meeting. I wanted to laugh, to dismiss it as a joke, but looking at the man in the green suit and the mask, I knew he was completely serious. My mind was a whirlwind of questions. A different reality, things I couldn't imagine. Was this guy part of some weird cult? Or maybe this was an elaborate prank show and cameras were about to pop out from the walls. I glanced around the empty room, but there was nowhere to hide a camera crew. There was only me and Kounter Stryke, suspended high above the city in this glass box. He stood with an unnerving stillness, waiting for his words to sink in. I felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff and he was asking me to jump, promising there was something incredible waiting at the bottom. I took a deep breath, trying to anchor myself. "What do you want from me?" I asked, my voice a little stronger this time. I needed answers. I couldn't just stand here while he spoke in riddles. If my life was going to change, I deserved to know how and why. I was just a kid from the South Side. I fixed bikes in my spare time and dreamed of maybe going to college someday. What could I possibly have to do with shadows and secret realities? My world was made of concrete, school books, and the smell of my mom's cooking, not mystery and masked men. Kounter Stryke's head tilted slightly, as if he was studying a curious puzzle. "It is not about what I want from you, Desmond, it is about what is in you, a potential you are not aware of, a power that lies dormant. Some people are born to live ordinary lives, you are not one of them." He spoke with such certainty that for a split second I almost believed him. Me? Powerful? I couldn't even win an argument with my little sister. The idea was absurd. And yet a tiny part of me, a part I didn't even know existed, felt a flicker of excitement. He gestured toward the center of the room, where the floor suddenly glowed with a soft blue light. A round table and 2 chairs seamlessly rose from the polished wood, assembling themselves as if by magic. My jaw dropped. This was definitely not a prank show. This was something else entirely. "Please have a seat," Kounter Stryke said, his voice smooth as silk. "Our meeting is about to begin. We have much to discuss." I walked toward the glowing table, my legs feeling shaky but my resolve hardening. I didn't know what was happening, but I was ready to find out. My ordinary life was over.